What is going on, you guys? Thank you so much for continuing on with my Jurassic World review series. I finally saw Jurassic World Dominion yesterday, and I have a lot to say about it. Now, this film was once again directed by Colin Trevorrow, and it brings back characters like Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, stars Chris Pratt, and Bryce Dallas Howard. And it takes place about four years later after the events of the previous film, and dinosaurs are now living among the people, and they have to try to figure out how to capture them. And there's even another subplot involving locusts, and it makes no sense to the plot whatsoever. Yeah, I was very anticipating this movie when I first heard about it, when I heard this was going to be a new trilogy, and when I heard about this film, I was hoping to God that this was going to be the a good ending to a trilogy that I wasn't really into. Like Jurassic World's fine, and Lost Fallen Kingdom was fine as well, but not as good as Jurassic World in my opinion. But this movie did everything that I did not want it to do. And I have quite a bit to say about it. So, starting with what worked for me, what worked in this movie for me, all of the action in this film involving the dinosaurs was great. Like, there was a motorcycle chase with Chris Pratt that I thought was great. There was some other dinosaurs fighting each other that I thought was really epic and fun to watch. And once again, the special effects in this movie are great, especially the dinosaurs. I don't think there will ever be a Jurassic Park movie where the special effects and the dinosaurs are bad. That is, unless they hire the wrong person, which I hope they never hire the wrong person for that. And that is pretty much where my positives end with this film, because what did not work for me was everything else. Let me just get the big one out of the way first. I want to get the big one out of the way because it's the biggest issue that I have with it, and it's actually the one thing about this film that really bogs it down for me. There's, like I said, a plot involving locusts in this movie that I do not get whatsoever. I don't get why they put it in here. It makes no sense to the plot. It's got nothing to do with the dinosaurs. It's like when I was watching the film, even though it kind of opened with dinosaurs, I kept asking myself, wait a minute, am I watching a Jurassic Park movie, or am I watching some weird sequel slash remake of that old 1970s movie, The Swarm? Which, if you haven't, I would recommend you look that up, because that's kind of what this movie feels like. It's about like it's about like a bee or wasp swarm that kills people. And that's what this movie felt like. The whole dinosaur subplot, people say it was pushed off to the side, but I do think for the first act, or maybe even the first half of the movie, it is kind of lost a little bit, which is what I did not like about this film. So the whole locust thing makes absolutely no sense. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, I would want to sit down with these people who came up with the idea and ask them, what was the point? Because I did not see anything right about that idea whatsoever. Now, if they had briefly mentioned it in the previous two films, like if they were like, okay, there's a problem with locusts going on somewhere in another country, we have to keep an eye on this, and I'm like, oh, locusts, huh, okay. And if they had kept hinting at it for the previous films and then brought it up here, then it would make more sense. But they just shove it in here last second because it's like they wanted to make the movie longer. And let me tell you, this movie is slow as shit. It was so slow. Like, I lightly pulled my phone out during the movie twice to check the time to see how much time we had left. And I was like, oh my God, we're only an hour in. It did not make sense because this movie is so damn slow. This movie could have easily had a half hour removed from it. They should have done better with the pacing and all that. Another thing that didn't work for me that I was hoping was going to work was I liked how Sam Neill and Laura Dern were back because they were a breath of fresh air to see. But let me tell you, they didn't do the right thing when it comes to bringing old faces back. If you're going to bring an old character back, give them a purpose to be back. Don't just bring them back for a familiar face. Now, the people in this movie both did and did not do that. They brought them back as familiar faces, and they did give them a little bit to do, but they weren't doing what they were experts at. Like, they weren't discussing the dinosaurs or like being smart around whole situations. They were just there mostly just for familiar faces. Now they did get some stuff to do, but the movie would have worked if they weren't even in the film. The movie would have worked without them. Like, it's like you didn't need to bring them back unless you had a purpose to bring them back. Like, that's what did not work for me. So I was very disappointed when I saw that. I was like, oh my god, like, why? Why? So that's pretty much where I'm going to end with this review, because that's really all I can say about it. I will say the dinosaur action was great and the special effects were great, but everything else surrounding that, the whole locust plot line, did not work for me. And I will have to say, this is the worst Jurassic Park film that I have seen, and it also is the one Jurassic Park film that I cannot see myself rewatching again unless I absolutely have to. So, guys, I'm going to have to say, now here's the thing, is this a terrible movie? No, it's not, but is it bad? Yes. So, unfortunately, it's a bad movie. So, thank you guys for watching this video. Look forward to my next review, which will be for my ranking of all 6 Jurassic Park films. Look forward to that. And then look forward to an iceberg video that I'm going to be doing in the near future, as well as a Terminator review series, which I'll be finishing up the Terminator franchise pretty soon, that I will be reviewing as well. So look forward to that, and I'll see you guys later.